Okay, so how do I put this? I might have to abandon the oak camp, but it's not for the reason that you might think. Okay, so before we get into it, if everybody could please hit the like button, let's try to get this video to over 100 likes. That will really help me and it'll really help the YouTube algorithm to push this out to other people. So let's talk about Sunday, which was just a couple of days ago. I thought that I would take a nice hike out to the oak camp to see if everything was okay at the oak camp, because heard that Hurricane Milton went right over southern Osceola County and right over the oak camp. So I went out there, and there was nothing really wrong at the oak camp. One of the oak trees, kind of like half of it, kind of split off. So hey, I got a bunch of firewood, but there's several big live pine trees that are just all the way over, and the roots are sticking up and everything. And I was like, wow. So I wanted to go out and take a walk out on a section of the Florida Trail, because the night the hurricane went over, the weather guys were tracking twisters, tornadoes, and they were tracking it on real time, and it went right over that section of the Florida Trail. And the oak camp is right off the Florida Trail. It's about 300 yards back in the woods from the Florida Trail. So I took a long hike on a section of trail, and met my brother and his wife out there. We didn't plan it, but what the hell? We were just happened to be hiking in the same place, but I couldn't find right where the tornado went over. All I found was a couple of trees here and there that were totally bowled over. Everything else was okay. So I went all the way back to the oak camp, and I was there, and I was just, I was getting my stuff out. I was actually going to do a Canteen Cup Tuesday for today, but my brother came out to the oak camp, and he says, "Hey, I got bad news." And I said, "What?" And he said, "There's an FWC guy looking for you." And I said, why? I didn't do anything. And for those of you who don't know, FWC means Florida Wildlife Commission. So I was the game warden. That's the man. So, I was like, why? I didn't do anything. And my brother said that the guy told him that they spotted a person in camouflage clothing, and I was wearing my camouflage t-shirt, and openly carrying a firearm, and I was carrying my Ruger single six, open, being stupid, and that it was way off trail, and they got my picture on a trail camera. So somebody's trail camera went off, pinged their cell phone, they called the game warden, and the game warden was looking for me. And I said, oh man, no way. And just then my phone rings, and it was a number that I didn't recognize. So I just cut it off. And then I get a text from the same number, and I'm like, what's going on? And then I get a voicemail from the same number. So I listen to the voicemail, and it was the game warden. And he says, "Hi Matthew, this is Officer so-and-so and so-and-so. I'm at your vehicle, and I would like to meet with you and go over a few things. Please call me back." And I said, he's at my car. He knows who I am. He knows where I'm at. He doesn't know exactly where I'm at. I'm out there somewhere, okay? But there's no use to run, and there's no use to hide, because that's just going to make it worse. So I got my stuff, and I said, well, let's just go up and face the music. So it turns out that I was being a total idiot. I was out there, it's opening weekend of hunting season, and I'm wearing a camouflage t-shirt. I'm openly carrying my gun, walking along a section of the Florida Trail, and which is everything about that is wrong. I was so stupid. So I go to the car, and I meet with the guy, and he was pretty nice. And I'm like, and he's like, we need to go over the rules. There's no open carry of firearms. And I said, I know I made a mistake. I apologize. It'll never happen again. But he briefed me on the rules, and he asked for my ID. Of course, I gave it to him. I was very nice and cordial to him, because there's no use in being a dick. That's just going to make it worse. So what he did is he gave me a written warning about openly carrying a firearm. And I was like, because he could have made my day really, really bad. He could have gave me a big fine if he thought I was hunting or shooting. I wasn't doing any of that. But that's what I told him. I said, I wasn't hunting, I wasn't shooting. And he said, if you were, you'd be on the way to jail right now. So the moral of the story is, he was going along the Florida Trail right off of where the Oak Camp is. And Oak Camp's about 300 yards off the trail. And he couldn't find me. He didn't know where I was. I was way back in the woods next to the swamp, sitting on the ground. He couldn't find me. But now that I know that there's somebody's trail camera out there and that they're looking for stuff, I can't build a base camp at the Oak Camp. And a matter of fact, I only got 2 beams of the base camp up of the start of the roof. I'm going to go out there this week and I'm going to disassemble it. I don't want any trace of me out there. I said I might abandon the Oak Camp. I think that my brother and I can still use that camp. And I think that we can still go on an overnight or 2 out there. It's going to have to be kind of a stealth overnight. You know what I'm saying? Not a big fire. We're going to have to use a little tiny fire and little small lights inside the tents at night. It's going to be kind of a cold camp, because the last thing I need to do is for the game warden to catch me out there off the trail again. You're not supposed to go off of the Florida Trail, because people own that property on both sides. So where the Oak Camp is technically not my property, but nobody really knows where it is. So the last thing I need to do is be caught out there with a base camp. So I was going to finish the base camp build, but now that is totally out. There's not going to be any base camp. I'm going to go out and disassemble what I built so far and turn it back into forest, which is not too hard. I only put 2 nails in the tree, and I'm going to take those out. Didn't do anything to the tree. But I'm still going to go out to the Oak Camp, and I'm still going to do videos at the Oak Camp, because even the FWC guy couldn't find me at the Oak Camp. They would have to know exactly where I was to find me. So it wasn't too good of a day. I didn't get arrested though, which is good, and I didn't get a fine. All I got was a warning. But man, I did everything the wrong way. I was wearing camo, I was open carrying my gun, and even the FWC guy says, don't open carry. If you want to bring a gun with you, conceal it. Because Florida has permitless concealed carry. You don't have to have a concealed carry permit anymore. He says, stick it in your backpack or something. That's fine. You had it on your hip, dumbass. So I'm going to have on a brighter shirt next time. I'm not going to have my gun with me. I don't know why I carry a gun anyway. What am I going to do? Shoot a bear that's not there? What am I going to do? Scare Bigfoot away? It's just not too necessary. But if I really feel like I need one, if I'm going into a questionable place, I can carry it concealed. Even the FWC guy told me that I could do that. So it was my fault. I did everything wrong, but I can't risk getting caught out there building a base camp. You know what I'm saying? But there's going to be more videos from the Oak Camp. Me and my brother are not going to abandon that. They can't stop me from going out there. It's a Florida trail. I mean, it's the public trail. So that's how my Sunday went. I meant to have a Canteen Cup Tuesday out today, but now I'm doing this stupid explanation video for you guys. So there's going to be some more videos to come. There's just not going to be anything about building the base camp anymore. That's going to be totally gone. So once again, you can laugh at my stupidity, I'm kind of laughing at my stupidity. You know, I kind of dodged that bullet again. You can go ahead and laugh at my stupidity. Give me a comment about how stupid I was down below. I would really appreciate that. But the one thing I really would appreciate is if you want to see more content like this from my channel, please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Let's get this video to over 100 likes. And I didn't have to take up a collection for bail money to get out of jail. So, okay, so once again, this is Matt the Old Floor Boy with my sad story about my base camp. And I will see you on the trail.